Hey guys, can you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me? Just the number 1. If you can hear my voice right now. Okay. So, we need to have a bit of a dialogue today. Super chats are going to be off for this. And a few disclaimers. First off, everything I'm saying right now is previously recorded. Because I have a lot I have to get to, and I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. I got some notes that I'm working off right here. And also, this won't be relaxing, like at all. Not even a little. I know a lot of you people watch this stream to unwind, and, you know, if that's you, no hard feelings if you want to skip this next part. But as I say all of this, I'd like to encourage you to not only not freak out, which is why it says that right there, but also, try to keep an open mind if you can. And this is a dialogue I've been meaning to have for a while now. So, here is the preliminary information. We have to rewind a little bit first. First, we rewind. A few years ago, I realized I wasn't entirely sure what to do with the remainder of my life, in terms of things to enjoy that I could focus on. I think I touched on this on Brain Dump probably once or twice. I sort of realized that I felt as if I wasn't really compatible with anything. And you know, we all know in theory what those things should be. Career, hobbies, art, nature, people, relationships, religion, money, fitness, altruism. I spent my life kind of going down that list, and I sort of, you know, I crossed them all off. I realized, just kind of realizing that each individual item wasn't something I enjoyed a whole lot. And reaching this conclusion was pretty demoralizing for me. It's the kind of thing that maybe happens to everybody eventually, but preferably not when you're in your 30s. And so naturally I was like, okay, well, where do I go from here then? I did speak to a therapist about it, but after 6 months of talking to that therapist, exploring the situation at length, it mostly just kind of reaffirmed my belief about not being interested in career, hobbies, art, nature, people, relationships, religion, money, fitness, altruism. And so I felt as if this world didn't have much else to offer me anymore, in exchange for engaging with it. Then, a little over 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with my no good, very bad, you-know-what condition. Now, typically I don't like to do this, because I know that nobody wants to hear it, but I have to. For the full context that I feel is necessary, I need to explain how I feel. I'm tired all the time. I spend a lot of my time lying down. I get a lot of bad pain in all my joints and muscles, ankles, shins, hands, knees, hips, neck. I have a lot of difficulty sleeping, especially during a flare-up. I lie on my back hurts. I lie on my side, my hips hurt. It seems like maybe once or twice a week I have some kind of a restless night. My body can't regulate its temperature correctly anymore. I'm either way too hot or way too cold, or hot and cold at the same time. I might not be able to sleep because I feel like my skin is boiling, or my body is itchy, but like painful itchy. Like I'm being stabbed by tiny needles. I have to get my apartment cold at night because around 11 p.m. my body starts to heat up, and I can get overheated very easily, and I'll just be like burning up if my apartment is not cold. Or I might not be able to sleep because I'm having a blood pressure spike or whatever. My blood doesn't pump right or something. I feel as if I've lost a big chunk of my brain power. I can't think right anymore. It's hard to explain, but it's like my mind has been hollowed out, and your mind is kind of like, you know, your identity. It's who you are. So naturally, losing it is crazy. I feel like a weird NPC who's just kind of like wandering through life as just a body on autopilot. It's so strange. And unfortunately, my autopilot is also an idiot, and as you guys know. As you guys can attest to, you might have noticed that sometimes I'll be speaking and I'll have to slow down and talk like this. That's literally my brain lagging in real time. Another thing you maybe notice is me sometime talk like caveman. Kind of funny, but me not always do this to be funny. Me do this so me can divert power in GPU away from speaking eloquently. So me can talk without slowing down. But you know what they say, why waste time say lot word when few word do trick? Luckily, I was such a highly intelligent man before that losing a chunk of my brain power just kind of knocked me down to being a man of average intelligence. Very, 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 very foggy-headed. Just can't think at all. It's hard for me to concentrate, it's hard for me to remember things. Even just like sitting and reading a book, it can be really hard for me. I have shortness of breath. It's been getting harder and harder for me to get enough air. That's why you hear me go before each sentence. Remember the time that I was playing Poppy Playtime? I was fighting Catnap. I had to stop the game because I couldn't breathe. Remember? Yeah. That's something I'm very embarrassed about, going all the time. I wish I could stop, but, most mysteriously, the bane of my existence, my true ruination, I have a condition that I have dubbed slobber mouth. My mouth is always drooling. My throat is always producing mucus, which is why I have that squeaky puberty voice now. My throat is also scratchy and sore, probably because I have to clear it all the time. I have a big wad of goo in my nasopharynx. The inside of my mouth and my tongue feel puffy and raw and swollen and numb and tingly. So imagine rubbing sandpaper on your tongue until it feels like raw and spongy and puffy. I have a metallic taste a lot of the time, like coins or pennies or whatever. I spit all day. I can spit it or I can swallow it, but it just fills right back up again in 2 seconds. It also feels like if I spit or swallow it too much, that'll start making it worse. That'll like agitate it. On at least one occasion, I woke up in the middle of the night choking on it. When it gets really bad, I have to sit on the couch and hold a bowl under my mouth, and I just let it drip dry while I watch TV. So imagine me sitting on the couch holding a bowl or a plate just going bleh with my mouth open. You know, if I do just, you know, try to swallow it again and again and again, that just like speeds it up. So I just have to like let it drain sometimes. I've always known I'm not a smart man, but I never thought that I would literally be a drooling imbecile. Because of my slobber mouth, I've developed a stutter, I lisp, I slur my speech, I stammer, I'm a stammerer. I stammer now, which I never used to do. It seems like talking makes it worse. The more I talk, the more numb and raw my tongue feels, and the worse the drooling gets. Obviously a very ironic punishment for a streamer, someone whose job is nothing but public speaking. One of the reasons this is all previously recorded right now. I've tried so many things to get rid of my slobber mouth, but nothing has worked. I've given up gluten, I've given up dairy, I've given up sugar. I've tried treating it like a sinus infection, like allergies, like candida buildup. Nothing's helped. So what's going on? I think I just have brain damage. and not in the funny way, not in the Homer Simpson, I hope I didn't brain my damage kind of way. Of course, you're not supposed to self-diagnose yourself with anything. So don't get on social media and be like, oh, did you hear Max says brain damage? Don't do that. It's just a theory I have. Certainly I should be allowed to have a theory, right? But why would I have brain damage? Well, that goes back to how this all started. Fibromyalgia could maybe be conceptualized as a sort of non-definitional form of brain damage. If there is such a thing as non-definitional brain damage. There's a part of your brain called the hypothalamus, and when it's damaged and it breaks, that's what causes fibro. It breaks and it starts sending out kind of like bad signals to the rest of your body, which can be caused by a concussive head injury or a bad viral infection, which for me was COVID. I got COVID in the winter of 2023. And then about a month, about a month and a half after, I got fibro and I got slobber mouth. So maybe if I have one form of non-definitional brain damage, I might have another in the form of slobber mouth. the part of my brain that signals the production of saliva and mucus is stuck in the on position. Or maybe my mouth is messed up and it's sending a bad signal to my brain. Maybe brain damage is too sensationalist, because brain damage might have some kind of super specific definition I'm not familiar with. But suffice to say, the two current theories are my brain is sending a bad signal to my mouth and my throat, or my mouth and my throat are sending a bad signal to my brain. I don't know, but I would truly describe slobbermouth as maddening. And as you can imagine, when you have slobbermouth and dyscognition and shortness of breath and a scratchy throat that won't stop producing mucus and a tongue that feels numb and tingly, it makes streaming hard. And all of these are symptoms that impact my ability to speak, and speaking is my job. A job that should have been easy has become very, very difficult for me. And I've kind of grown to dread doing it, if I'm being honest. Usually when I stream, I do my best to try to be silly, as a streamer would have to do, but most of the time, I'm just sitting here thinking, you know what, I feel terrible, I feel terrible, I feel terrible. And I think probably at least some of the time you guys can tell that I seem distracted. But then other times, you know, other times I would say, like, yeah, silliness successful. Like, yeah, I did a stream where I managed to be silly today. And if you haven't noticed me acting different, well, that's because I'm a professional, baby. In addition to all of this, I also have all of the health problems that I've always had. I have sleep apnea. I have an enlarged prostate, which I've had since middle school. I have anxiety. I have a calcified disc in my neck. I get headaches. I have heartburn. Yeah, I know everybody has heartburn. I know. I know everybody has heartburn. Everybody gets anxiety. I know. I don't care. It's my list. I can add heartburn if I want. When you make your list, if you don't want to add heartburn, you don't have to. But it's my list, so, you know, heartburn makes the list. And last but not least, a few months ago, I was lying on the couch, and all of a sudden, for no reason, I developed a ringing in my ears. Just lying on the couch, and all of a sudden, it's as if the universe itself looked at me and said, oh look, we missed a spot. He still has one sensory input that's left unmolested. Sometimes I can't hear it, but then other times it gets really, really loud. So, in short, I'm sick. I'm a sick man. And not just in the head. You might be thinking, wow, Max, if you're really this sick, boy, you should probably retire. But here's the thing, and this you probably could have seen coming. I'll never be able to retire. To retire would take an obscene amount of money, which would take an obscene amount of work, which is an amount of work that I can't do because I'm too sick. I know when somebody has no money, your response might be to say, oh, get a job, you lazy ass. I am too sick to ever have a real job. I don't think someone who's as sick as me should be working at all. All I do currently is I come in here 3 times a week, maybe 4. I sit in a chair, and I play video games with you guys, and I often feel as if I'm too sick to even do this. And this is about as easy as a job gets. Constantly just running out of the money that I do have. It's embarrassing to have to admit that you have no money, but naturally, I did try to avoid ending up here. I used to work really hard. I can't really afford to go to the doctor anymore. They're never really able to help me anyway. They've done a lot of tests over the past 2 years, but they're usually inconclusive. They're like, yeah, you look fine. Every time. I've had a lot of outstanding medical bills. Eventually, they all went to some collection agency, and, you know, I was getting a lot of letters from this agency. Then I found out I found out that the agency will sue you if you don't pay them, and I was like, okay, well, I cannot be sued. I cannot be sued right now. So I took a lot of those medical bills, and I put them on my credit cards. So now, just because I had to do something to avoid getting sued, Like, I don't know how likely that is, but I was like, I can't let that happen. But now I have all, a lot of this credit card debt. My credit score is probably ruined, even though I haven't checked it. So going to the doctor anymore, it's just not happening, probably. I knew I'd have to stop last summer when I paid nearly $900 for an MRI on my salivary gland. And then they just looked at the MRI and they were like, yeah, you look fine. So this takes us up to the present. And where does it leave us? To recap, no money, inability to make more money, the money that I do have slowly dripping away because I'm not making enough, and inevitably it will run out, probably sooner rather than later, an incurable disease that makes my day-to-day life very uncomfortable, and knowing that the remainder of my life won't include finding some kind of reward in career, hobbies, art, nature, people, relationships, religion, money, fitness, altruism. Now this is the part where I remind you, up at the top of the screen, what does it say? It says, don't freak out. Look at those words and remember, don't freak out. All of this compounded together has kind of led me to feeling that my life has reached its natural conclusion. So a little over a year ago, maybe like 14 months, I realized I needed to start thinking of some kind of final solution, some option that would serve as a resolution to all of these problems. And after considering every option I could think of, ultimately, that solution has taken the form of doctor-assisted euthanasia. Now, I know when I say that, for a lot of you, your first instinct is probably to be upset. I know a lot of you care about me, so I'd like to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry for having to hurt you guys like this. But before you do your pearl clutching, I ask you, why shouldn't I? Can you give me one good reason? Is it because I wouldn't want to miss out? Miss out on a slow, arduous descent into becoming an old man with a bad disease? A descent I've already begun? An old man with a bad disease and no money, which is naturally the worst time to have... So the worst time to have no money is when you're an old man with a bad disease. Of course, if I did want to continue to live, what would my options be? Well, let's explore that. And as I go over these options, imagine this is happening to you. Don't imagine this is happening to me. Imagine it's happening to you. Not me, you. I could move back in with my parents at age 40, move back into my childhood bedroom, lie down in my childhood bed, and spend the rest of my life as an old man with a bad disease in that room. I never really got along with my family. I don't enjoy being around them. I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to see them again, honestly. Remember, not me, you. Yes, you. This is happening to you. And of course, certainly I would still have all of the same symptoms that I have now of my condition. Those wouldn't go away. It's kind of like we're just describing my personal hell here. And I guess my one other option is moving out into the middle of the country where everything is cheaper, like Nebraska or something. Trying to find some Section 8 housing or a studio apartment, seeing if I can live off welfare, and just spending the rest of my life, in a tiny box, sitting in a chair. Also with a bad disease. Also with all those same symptoms. And also, having to find a place to live out in the middle of the country that I've never been to before, and then getting all of my stuff and moving it there, that would be a massive project. Once again, something I'm too sick to do. Can't do it. And if these are my options, I don't know, sometimes dead is better? Now, what have I learned about euthanasia after looking into it? All of this, I think, some of this information might be wrong, but I think this is all correct. After looking into it, well, I don't qualify in California. I do not qualify for medical assistance in death because in California you have to have a fatal condition that can kill you naturally in 6 to 9 months. But you can't die from my kind of sick. I could live potentially another 20 to 30 years, who knows? I tend to doubt it. But I might be nowhere near close to a natural death. So I thought, okay, I'll go out of state. Then I found out basically every US state has that same rule. Fatal, 6 to 9 months. Then I thought, well, what about Canada? You hear a lot about that Canadian euthanasia. Apparently they're handing it out like Halloween candy up there. Well, that's no good either. I would I would have to be a Canadian citizen, and that could take years to get some kind of foreign citizenship. And I don't have nor want that kind of time. But it's a big world, so there's got to be a place where you can go, where a doctor will stab you or shoot you in the brain or set you on fire or whatever. Bonk you on the noggin with a frying pan. And apparently that place is Switzerland. Apparently, Switzerland engages in what's known as euthanasia tourism, meaning people go there if they can't get bonked anywhere else. The doctors there will bonk you, no questions asked. I don't know how they do it. Maybe they can dip me in the Nintendo purple mud. Can I choose my method of execution? I'd like to be dipped in the purple mud, please. We'll have to get Nintendo on the horn. Over in Japan, they have a whole warehouse aligned with thousands of oil drums of the Nintendo purple mud. They take a cover off of it and it goes... They can dip me in the oil drum, like in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So now I'm thinking maybe I can start a GoFundMe for like $10,000 so I can live for 1 more year without running out of money and then getting evicted and thrown out of my apartment. Get rid of all of my stuff, then go to Switzerland and pay a doctor to bonk me, right? I want to get rid of all of my stuff myself, because whenever I pay a junk removal service to get rid of a couch or something, even that can be like $400. So even though I don't like my landlady, if I just leave all of my stuff here and she has to remove it, that could cost her like thousands and thousands of dollars. You know, who knows? My place is well lived in. I've been here for a while. There's a lot of stuff here. I don't know if her insurance would cover having to get it all removed. And I just don't want to stick her with a giant bill. Getting rid of all of my stuff is going to take a lot longer for me than it would for the average person because I'm sick and because I have to stream. So I don't run out of money. I don't know why, but running out of money... running out of money is like the scariest thing ever for me. It's scarier than dying. What do you think about dying? It's scary. What do you think about running out of money? Oh, it's terrifying. I guess because if I ran out of money, I don't know what I would do. Naturally. Do I say naturally too much? Probably. Do I say probably too much? Naturally. But then, hang on, the plot thickens. But then I found out that being euthanized in Switzerland can cost up to like $17,000. So now I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. Like, well, why is everything being made so difficult for me here? Am I gonna have to start a GoFundMe for like $30,000 instead? I was worried that people wouldn't want to give me $10,000. Nobody's gonna donate $30,000 to kill a man. People are gonna donate $30,000 to kill a man? You know, if you're a woman on a playground somewhere and you call a child the N-word, they'll give you $500,000 for that. I don't think I'm gonna be so lucky. But, you know, if you think dying is expensive, imagine how expensive it would be for me to live for another 2 to 3 decades. You know, that would be really expensive. There's nothing more expensive than living. But I also have to think about, like, getting rid of all of my stuff first. I have to return my apartment to factory settings before planning a trip, because otherwise the trip will sneak up on me before I'm done. I don't know. I don't know why everything is being made so difficult for me. I was planning on selling some of my stuff, but that might be a lot of additional work. So maybe I'll just, like, donate what I can, throw away the rest, find somebody to take care of Wolfo, and then I can be done. The last year has been, like, especially difficult. It's so hard having to juggle everything that I have to do with my bad sick. I live alone. Everything that needs to get done has to be done by me. I have to get the groceries, I have to cook, I have to clean, I have to make sure that Wolfo is taken care of. Uh-oh, there's cat fur everywhere. I gotta do something about that. A pipe burst in my apartment. I had to sop up all the water, I had to lay down all of my clothes, I had to get Wolfo to use the litter box again. Then I got a letter in the mail from my landlady telling me that to recoup the cost of the burst pipe, she's raising my rent by $300 a month. And I was like, how am I gonna afford this? And then I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, yeah, I guess I just can't. I can't keep doing this. Everything is too precarious for me. It's all gonna come crashing down if I keep trying. As of recording this, the most recent stream I did was Fear and Hunger Termina. The first one, the first stream of me doing that, and it was awful. My tongue was raw and numb and puffy, like it was buzzing, like it was going, felt like it was buzzing. Imagine your tongue going, I felt too weak to even sit up in this damn chair. I couldn't breathe, I was like out of breath the whole time. I said it was going to be a short stream because I had to go do something, but really what I had to go do was go lie down, so I guess I was lying. When I said, oh, it's, I got short stream today, I gotta go do something. Yeah, that thing I had to go do was go lie down. I've done this for 2 years now, a little over 2 years now of having this sick. And I held on this long because I was like, well, maybe if I ignore it, it'll make it easier, or maybe I'll start to feel better eventually. But I'm just getting worse. But everything I just told you, those are the facts. Now I want to do some editorializing, if you'll allow me. If you thought I was venting before, no. This is the part where the venting starts. It's funny. I've spent my life worrying. And even still, I never could have predicted how poorly things would go. I'm not even mad or upset about how comically bad everything has gone. I'm just, like, low-key impressed. Like, wow, all that, huh? With the bad disease and everything, a pipe burst in my apartment, and the landlady raises the rent? It all seems a little contrived, and yet it's all real. My existence has become one where I suffer and barely scrape by so I can continue to sustain an existence where I barely scrape by and suffer. And I'm sorry if me using the word suffer seems a little dramatic, but how much do you have to suffer before you're allowed to apply the label suffering to it? I don't know, but also these are my words, so I'm going to use the words that I want to use, and I feel like it's the appropriate word. That's why I'm choosing it. And what do I do it for? What do I do all of this suffering for? The answer, of course, is for nothing. And I don't know about you, but I'm not in the business of suffering for nothing. There's no reward here anymore for me, and there never will be one. But the good news is I don't have to suffer. You can't control what life throws at you, but you can control how you respond to it. I know that euthanasia is a hot-button issue. I know that some people think that nobody should ever be euthanized ever, but for me, I've kind of grown to view it maybe as like getting a root canal. Do you want to go in for a root canal? Well, yes and no. No, because you know it's going to be scary and unpleasant, but also yes, because you know that you should. And if you don't, things are just going to get worse. No matter how much time I spend thinking about it, no matter how many times I run this giant equation in my head, I just keep getting the same answer. I know it's right. And I know that it's time. You might feel inclined to believe, Max, you just need therapy, but I think I'm as therapized as I'm ever gonna get. I've done enough therapy for one lifetime. This is me after the therapy. I think choosing this... I think choosing to get out should be my right. I gotta get out of here. Guys, I gotta get out of here. This is where I get off. I have to think about my future. What are things gonna be like in 5 years? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now? Well, tragically, they're not gonna be good. So I'd prefer to just skip it. So maybe I can spend 1 more year clearing out my apartment, start a GoFundMe, maybe sooner if I run out of money before then. I don't know. I probably will. So yeah, I have to start a GoFundMe. I don't know how it works. I don't speak Switzerlandish. Just get off the plane and go up to some rando and say, hey, which way to Dr. Kevorkian's office? And he says, Hinga-dinga-durgan. And I say, that's not even real. That's from SpongeBob. That's not even real. That's from SpongeBob. You're not real. And unfortunately, I have to do all of this myself, because you know what they say, nobody's coming to save you. And if doing it in Switzerland won't work, if you're thinking, that'll never work, you can't just do that. Well, yeah, maybe. Maybe you're right. But then maybe I can go to Mexico or something, some other place, I don't know. There's got to be a place where I can go. By hook or by crook, I have to die. And then after I die, I can just spend the rest of my life dead. Which will be quite a relief for me, you know? Then I can finally relax. And you guys know how much I like to relax. That's the name of the game, that's the aim of the game. And hey, when I die, the slobbermouth dies with me. I think maybe I would gladly lay down my life so that Slobbermouth will finally be condemned to the deepest, darkest depths of hell, where it belongs. I hate it. I cannot express how much I hate it. It's the one thing I can't ignore. I am so sick of my slimy, frothy, puffy, numb mouth and tongue and throat. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's evil. It's so evil. But here's the good news. If you watch me stream, if you're listening to this right now, chances are you probably like me. Haha, you like me. You probably like me. I've been a content creator for a long time, and even though I have fallen off and most of my subs are dead subs, it is still cool that there are people online who care about me. And if you care about me, that would mean you wouldn't be happy about all of this. But here is the good news. I'm not dead right now. And I won't be dead tomorrow, and I won't be dead the next week or the week after that. And I'm gonna keep streaming, you know, because I have to. So that my money doesn't drip away faster, but, you know. A year from now, 2 years from now, I might be gone. I might be just a memory. But hopefully I can be a good memory for you. I would love to be a good memory for you. Even if, for some people, I'll be a bad memory. I want to be a good memory for as many people as I can. Even though, you know, naturally I can't. For some people, for some people, I will be a bad memory, and there's nothing I can do about that. But I would be a good memory for everyone if I could. And what can we learn? What insight can I pass on to you? Well, don't get COVID. Ever. Get vaccinated if you can, because you never know. You could get COVID and get so sick that you'll never be healthy ever again. It happened to me. It could happen to anyone. That won't happen for most people, I know. Chances are if you get COVID, you'll be fine. 99% chance you'll be fine. In a week to 10 days, you'll be fine. But still, you never know, so get vaccinated. What would this all look like if I had gotten vaccinated like a month before I got COVID? Well, I'll never know. You know, before I got COVID, I felt more or less fine. My neck would act up once in a while. You know, I got a bad neck. I'd get heartburn, I'd get anxiety, you know, shit like that. But it was all like normal human stuff. I lived a relatively active lifestyle. I was jogging, I was lifting weights, I could work all day on a project. I miss being able to work. I've said a million times, I don't think the cartoons that I used to make were very good, but at least when I was making them, I felt productive. Now all I do is I lie on the couch and I drool into a bowl. You know, it's not an existence that's worth preserving, clearly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I have to let you guys down like this. I'm sorry that this is happening, but, you know, obviously, as bad as this is for you, you gotta imagine it's much worse for me. I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy about this situation. I'm not crazy about all this shit. I think that's it. I think that's all of it. I'm sorry for talking your ear off. I know that took forever. Now I still have a stream to do. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. Like I always do when I have bad news. We're gonna suck all the negative energy out of the room. We're gonna go back to the loading screen. We're gonna take a break. And when I come back, it's gonna be a normal stream like I always do. You'll be able to super chat again. But I do humbly request that you don't be weird. It's a weird situation, I know. But I would appreciate it if you didn't make it weirder, okay? Make it weirder by super chatting something weird, okay? Don't do that. All right? Okay, BRB.